Wow, I have got to talk about the subject matter today, and I'm going to call it depressurization. Is that a word or not? Don't know, don't care, but let me define it right now. So, depressurization is you looking at your environment and just taking the pressure out of it. So, what are we talking about when we're talking about elements? Let's go through them right now. Actually, let's go through the purpose first. The purpose of depressurization is taking the pressure off yourself. If you are feeling strung out, it's because you are strung out. If you're feeling under pressure, it's because you are under pressure. If you're feeling frayed because there's too much going on, there is too much going on. So let's start turning that tap off. Okay, let's go through some of the elements right now in terms of how you can do that. Now, some of the basic ones you already know about, which is reducing the tasks, the things that you are doing. Have a look at them, which are purposeful, which flame the fire within your heart, the things that you love to do, and which things are just burdensome. Can you start to jettison some of the things that are burdensome? Emails, we talk about this all the time, but let me come at it with a slightly different bent. Now, when people receive emails, and it's emails that you don't want, those are the times to unsubscribe. So you don't have to spend an hour or a couple of hours going through all the emails and going, which ones am I going to unsubscribe from? Just have that threshold or that standard that when an email lands with you and there's almost zero interest in it, you're going to unsubscribe. And I say almost zero interest because every time you get an email, there might be something in it that you go, oh, that's kind of interesting. That's not enough. Stop it because it's soaking up your time and you don't need it. It's preying on the FOMO and you're worried about missing out. Get comfortable with missing out. Because the opportunity cost, the benefit of missing out is you get to do what you choose to do rather than what has been decided for you. And that's what happens, right? When an email comes through to you, you haven't pulled it through, it's been pushed through to you, and then you're looking at it and you're engaging with it and you're thinking about it. But you didn't spark that, someone else did. Now, I'm not going to say, it's a real dark thing and you need to protect yourself and and maybe it sounds like that with the tone of my voice. So let's bring it up a level. It's just protecting your time. That's it. I don't want it to sound like everyone's out to get you. People genuinely want you to know about what they're doing. But of course, a lot of it is what they're doing. They want you to know what they're doing, but it's to make a sale or to engage with you and suck up some of your time. So have that standard where when those emails come through to you, you don't have to set hours aside to go through them, but when they come through, make a decision right there and then. If you know you're not going to be missing out on anything, or you're worried about missing that one deal every 100 days, that's not good enough. Cull it out so you can spend time doing what you want to do. And the same applies for subscriptions. And when I was talking about tasks before, I'm not just talking about subscriptions to save money, but how often or how many movies or TV series do we have earmarked to watch? So we've either saved them in the list for things to watch later, or when we talk to our friends about TV series and they talk about a series that they're watching and they really enjoy. We can't watch everything that's recommended to us to watch because it's going to soak up huge amounts of time. How often are you watching something just because someone else recommended it, and by watching it because someone else recommended it, it actually feels like a task? And you feel like you're completing a task by watching it, by getting it done. That's insane. So, look, either, if you want to be polite, do what I do. Someone says, hey, you should watch this series, and I haven't heard much about it. Or maybe I have, and I've heard good things, but I really haven't got much interest to see it. And they recommend it, and I go, I just might do that. but I don't do anything else about it. Let it go. Because you could be making, if it's say an 8-episode series and every episode is an hour, you could be making an 8-hour decision just then, just in one moment, a commitment that will become a task. Don't do that. Just let it go, which sort of also brings us on to another one. And you know this also. Say no. If you don't want to do something, say no. Now, you can spend a bit of energy finding a way to say no politely. That's okay. I do that too. I look at something and I go, man, I really want to say no to that, but I don't know quite how to say no. So I spend a bit of time thinking about it. Sometimes some things just pop up. Coincidence. It's lucky. Mother-in-law's coming to stay with me that night. Can't come out, mother-in-law's with me. Keep me in the loop though. And that might be the case. It might be a no for this time, but yes for the next time. Here's a little tip. What I sometimes, if I'm weighing up, am I a yes or a no? I ask myself this. If I click my fingers and without consequence have the decision that I want, so for example, if my decision then, as I click my fingers, I go, yeah, it's a no. It's definitely a no. Without any consequence, then that helps me make an easy decision, because I find what muddies my ability to make a decision, whether I'm a yes or a no, is that consequential part in the middle. So you remove the consequence. Don't worry about the consequence of whether you say yes or no. Make your decision now, free of consequence. Now what's your decision? That's the decision that you want to make. That's it. That's it. And I find that is much easier for me to land on, knowing that I need to say no, by removing the consequence. If I can click my fingers, make a decision with no consequence, and I think it's no in that time, then I go, I know that that's my answer. It's a no. Right. Now, how do I do that? How do I get back and say no? Okay. YouTube, this might sound a bit rich. I'm on it. Some of you have already made the decision, and you won't hear this, but you've made the decision to click off on this video and go somewhere else and save your time. I applaud you for that, because if there's no value, rock on. But the same thing goes for watching videos. And let me talk about me and my example here. There are some what we call shoe tubers. And if you haven't heard that expression, those are people who review shoes. Specifically for me, I'm into running, love running shoes, right? So I watch a lot of running shoe reviews. And it occurred to me the other day, man, how thick am I, right? That I'm watching a lot of reviews on shoes that I just won't buy. And it's a 10, 11, 12 minute video on a review of a shoe that I just know I won't buy. That's mental. That's mental. So yeah, I call that wasted research, because it's the shoe tubers generally, especially the ones I watch, they put together great reviews. So it's so good that it actually, I'll call it research, but it's wasted research. It's a waste of time. So being conscious of that. When we think about running a lot and working out, we've got to be careful not to overtrain. Now, let me define what overtraining is in a new way. So traditionally we think of overtraining, and we're right to think of it this way, where we're working too hard and we're not recovering, right? There's an imbalance between our effort we're putting in and our recovery. So we're going to the gym, we're smashing it, we're going for a run, but we're not recovering, which could mean a couple of things. At least could mean we're not getting enough nutrition in, or the right nutrition to help our bodies respond to the stimulus of the runs and the workouts, or we're not sleeping enough to help the body rebuild with those nutrients to respond to the stimulus that has come from the running and the workouts. That's overtraining. We understand it as that, and that's great. Let me talk about another definition of overtraining, and that is when whatever you're doing as your sport feels like it's a task. All of a sudden now you feel obligated to do the run that the coach has asked you to do. So you're not doing the run because you're excited to do it. And thankfully I'm in a good place. Tomorrow for me is Saturday, and I've got a run tomorrow. Friday's my rest day, and I'm pumped. I can't wait. I'm like a kid before Christmas in a way. I'm getting excited about my run tomorrow morning. I just cannot wait. That's a good place to be. You are overtraining, or you're experiencing a type of overtraining if you're dreading tomorrow's run and it feels like a task. That's overtraining. Something needs to change. So that's another way to depressurize. How do you come back then from that feeling of overtraining and get that enthusiasm to train the next day? Okay. That's it. That's it. I think there's enough there and for you. There's enough in there for you. But the reason why I make these videos is because these things, these techniques and strategies work for me. So by making these videos, I'm helping embed and reinforce these strategies. So that's why I make these videos. But the reason why I share these videos is because there might be something in it for you. If there is, steal it. Because the whole premise of me sharing these videos is to make life easier, simpler, or to help you perform better in your life. That's it. That's it. Feel free to share some comments. You know what to do. If you're going to subscribe, so let's go back to the depressurization. Don't subscribe today unless you're going to unsubscribe from 2 other channels. Now, I'm not launching any dirt on anyone else, but you know you've got a list of subscriptions there, and some of them are pretty old and you barely watch them, and when they pop up it feels like a task. Don't subscribe to me unless you're going to unsubscribe from 2 other channels, but hold me to the same account. Go to your calendar or in your phone or whatever, make a quick note about the fact that you subscribed to this channel and have that note pop up in 2 weeks' time. And if you're not watching me, unsubscribe. Man, wouldn't that be cool if we had reminders on everything that we committed to that we can peel back out of? That's it. That's what I'm going to offer you. I am done. I'm going to, I'm going to catch you in the next one. Take care. See you later. Bye.